In this video, I will be showing you how to factor sum and differences of cubes. Sum and difference of cubes using these two polynomial identities. The first one is for sum of cubes. It goes like that. And the second one is for difference of cubes. Well, generally, these identities are what generally algebra students just know them or memorize them, and it's easy to memorize them because the form of this factor of these cubes follows the form of this the first factor, and then the form of this difference is also the form of the second factor, and the rest is all the same except there's a minus here and there's a plus here. Don't worry too much. After applying it so many times, you'll be able to master the forms of this identity. Okay, here is the first example. We're going to be factoring x cubed plus 1. The strategy generally is to recognize that how you're going to match this. I have copied these identities for you for your reference as we proceed in these examples. So if you look carefully at this, your goal is to write this to look like an a cubed and this one like a b cubed. So it goes like this. This is going to be s cubed, right? So it's just x that is cubed, okay? And this one is 1 that is cubed, 1 that is cubed. So I can just test straight away that our a is x, our a equals x, and our b equals 1. Now what is left is now to substitute this a and b into this identity. Since this is sum, then we're going to be using the top identity. So our a is x and our b is 1. So we are ready now to write this part of the equation. So here it goes. So we're going to start with a plus b. So it's going to be a plus b. So equals our a is x, so x, and b is 1 plus 1. Okay, that's a plus b. And now we're going to go to our a squared, and then this is our a, so a squared will be s squared, so it will be x squared, and our minus ab is going to be x times 1, so minus x, so x times 1, and so we can put a minus between them, so it's a minus x. And now we're ready to go to the last term, which is going to be b squared, and our b is 1, so 1 squared is 1. Okay, 1 squared is 1, and then we're going to put that over here as 1. So basically, it's just substituting what you have into the identity. That's about example 1. Now we'll go to example 2. Here is the next example. So as usual, our goal is to write this as x cubed. Now, what number are you going to cube to get 27? Well, of course, the number will be 3 because 3 cubed is 27. So it's 3 cubed. So our a is actually x, and our b, as you can see, is actually 3. So we're ready to plug in this a and b, these are a and b, x and 3, into this identity. We're not going to plug into the top one, but the second one, because we're dealing with difference of cubes. So there's a minus here. So it's a minus here. So we're going to do, on this side, it will be a minus b, all right? So it will be x minus 3, because it's a minus b, x minus 3. So we're going to start now plugging in the equation, the value. So it will be x minus 3, all right? and then the other one, which is a squared. So a squared will be x squared, so it will be x squared, and then plus, it's going to be plus over here. AB will be 3, no, x times 3. So maybe you want to do some scratch work, will be x times 3, which is 3x. So it's going to be 3x over here. Okay. And our b squared is 3 squared. So 3 squared, that's 3 right here. 3 squared will be 9. Will be 9. So 9 will be here. And we are done. We're set. So x cubed minus 27 cubed equals x minus 3 times x squared plus 3x plus 9. So we're ready for the next example. Okay, here is this example. Now, as you can see that we cannot find something to cube to get no integer that we can cube to get 3. But we can find something to cube to get x cubed, which is x. 24 also, we cannot find something to cube to get 24. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 3 cubed is 27. 2 cubed is 8. So it's very important that you know these cubes by heart. So I'll just copy some of the cubes on here. 1 cube is 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is, okay, let me just put those numbers there so we can actually know what we're talking about. So we can say 1 cubed is 1. All right. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. So we already passed 20, already passed that. So there's no cube number that we can do to get 24. So that gives us a clue that we can actually factor this 24 into 2 factors. One of them will be a cube, the other one will not be a cube. So we can break 24 up into 2. So let's try to break 24 over here using one of the cubes. So 24 can be broken into 8, one of the cubes, and 3. So now we can just write this 24 as 3 times 8. So we have 3, use a black pen, 3 x cubed plus 3 times 8. So now it's going to get clearer to you that actually there is a common factor 3 that we can actually pull out from there that will leave us with the sum of cubes. So we're going to pull that 3 out. It's going to look just like this, 3, and then pull out from that will be x cubed, and then plus 8. This is one thing you're going to be doing many times by trying to recognize that a number can be broken into a cube, and to a factor of cube and another factor. So now we have that. So our next job now is to keep this 3 on the outside so that our final answer will look like this. Our final answer will look something like this. Okay, 3 and then the 2 factors that are there. There's going to be a 3 right here. All right, let's say 3. And then there will be the a plus b, and then the a squared. Sorry, this is the 3. And then there will be a plus b. And then there will be a squared minus ab plus b squared. So that's the general picture of where we are going. So now we're going to continue with that. So there's going to be a 3, which is the common factor. That's the 3 over here. And then there will be my a plus b. Now notice that this is my a. Now my a is x and my b is 3 because 3 cubed is 2. I'm sorry, 2 cubed. So b is 2. So maybe just write that somewhere so that you can keep that in mind. So my a now, my a is x, and my b is 2. So we're going to use those in the top formula over here, okay? So A is X and B is 2. So let's plug them in here. So we're going to have X plus, this is my A plus B, okay, that will be X plus 2, X plus 2, okay? And then now we're going to do the A squared, so it will be X squared, okay, X squared. And then remember this is sum, so it will be minus AB minus AX times 2 is 2x, so minus 2x minus 2x. Alright, and then we're going to do, so we've done this, we've done A plus B, we've done A squared, we've done AB, then we're going to do B squared now. B squared, and my B is 2. 2 squared is 4, so it will be 4 over here, plus 4. Remember, everything is plus, is addition except between the first and second time or the second factor. See, it's addition here, it's addition for the last. This is only a subtraction you have in this formula. So this is my X squared, then X times 2 is 2x, and then B squared is 2 squared is 4. So the final answer for this is really this. This is the final answer for it. Okay. So 3x cubed plus 24 equals 3 parentheses x plus 2, x squared minus 2x plus 4. Okay, here is another example. Now, without wasting too much time, this looks like the previous one, except that we're going to pull out a 2 here. We're going to pull out a 2. So it's going to become a 2 here. It's going to come out. And then 2 times 8 will be here. So we can actually rewrite this. So let's rewrite it. So let me just move this up a little bit. And then so we can rewrite it. So now we're going to rewrite like this. It will be 2x cubed minus 2 times 8. Okay, that's 2 times 8 right there. Okay, so that 2 can come out. This 2 is going to come out as a GCF, as a common factor. Okay, remember our goal is to break this into one of the factors has to be a cube, perfect cube. And we are lucky, I mean, this is not hard. This is 2 times 8 is 16. Now we're going to take this 2 out. So it's going to come out like this. So it's going to be 2 and then s cubed minus 8. Okay, so now we have that, and we're going to recognize that our new our A is tx, our B is 2 now. And so our final answer will look something like this, with a 2 and some parentheses and some larger parentheses like that. So let's fill this up now. So we are going to fill this up as x. We're going to use the bottom formula here. So this is the bottom formula is a minus b. So let's write down our A. Our A is, okay, another color over here. Our A is x and b is 2. So now we're going to fill this up. So it will be x minus b minus 2, x minus 2 for a minus b, and then x squared for a squared, so it will be x squared, and then 2 times x is 2x, but it's going to be plus 2x, and then b squared is 2 squared, which is 4, and it's also plus 4. So basically what we are saying is that a little pinch over here. So what we're saying is that if we're going to write this out completely, it will be 2s cubed minus 16 equals 2 parentheses x minus 2 and x squared plus 2x plus 4. And that is the final answer to the problem. So this is how you write your final answer. Alright. We may have to go back and rewrite the other two like that. I just ran out of space. Now, 2 more examples. Here is another example. Now remember the cubes. So we have the cubes are listed for you before are 1, 8, 27. These are the perfect cubes. 27. So 54 is not one of them, but we know 64 is one of them. So this is a 54. That gives you a clue that we need to break it up. And that's a 2. So this is going to be 27 times 2. So it will be 2 times 27. Alright, 2 times 27 s cubed. And then minus 2 times 1. See, our goal is to write it like a cube, like cubes. Alright, so now we are going to simplify some more now. So we are going to write this, pull out the 2 that is common. That's the 2 that is common. Okay, let's use another pen. So 2 is common, so it's going to be 27 s cubed minus 1 that is left. Okay, so now our next job is to actually recognize that this 27 is 3 cubed and this is s cubed. So our a is going to be 3x, like this. It's going to look like this, like this. So it's going to be 2 and then bracket 3x cubed minus 1 cubed. So now our a, let's use a different color. Our a is 3x. Alright, and our b is 1. So now this is our a, this is our a, and this is our b is 1. Because a cubed minus b cubed. So now we're ready to actually we are ready to write the formula fully now. So here we go with the formula fully. It's going to look like this. It's going to be a 2 parentheses some numbers. So let's set it up over here. 2 parentheses and then a larger parenthesis like that at the very end. Okay, so now this 2 is coming out and our a minus b. So it will be 3x minus 1. 3x minus 1. And then now I need to show you a squared. If you do a squared, if you do 3 squared, it's going to look like this. 3 squared is going to be like squared like this, which is going to be 9x squared. This is going to be 9x squared. So we're going to copy a squared will be 9x squared. Going to come over here as 9x squared. 9x squared. That is a common mistake from by students. They may just square the x and leave the 3 alone, but I hope you don't fall into that. You're going to square the x, you're going to square the 3 to get 9 and x squared. Okay, that's our a squared. Now we're going to go to ab plus ab. So 1 times 3x is 3x. So it's going to be 3x over here plus 3x. And then we're going to go to b squared. B squared is 1. It's 1 squared, which is just 1. So plus 1. And basically that is the factor right here. So I don't have enough space to write everything out, but the factor to this is this, all this. That's the factor to all those. Okay, one last example. I have this. So you're wondering, well, this is not, they don't appear to be cubes. They don't appear to be cubes, but actually they are cubes. You can rewrite them to be cubes. Okay, so let's move this up a little bit. So we can write them as cube like this. So what are we going to cube to get x to the sixth? Well, obviously it has to be x squared. It has to be x squared that we cube, because we have to do 2 times 3 makes 6. So you have to cube x squared to get x to the sixth. So the same thing here. You just do the same thing. We're going to do plus y squared cubed. So now that leaves us to get our a. Our a is now x squared, and our b is now y squared. So when you write your factor out, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this with my a plus b, and then the other bigger factor over here, somewhere over here. So we're going to do our a plus b is s squared plus y squared. All right, that's a plus b. Then our a squared, remember we're going to be using this one up here. We're going to be using this one up here. Okay, we've used this one, a plus b. We're going to go to a squared now. Now be careful again, because it's a common mistake. When you do a squared, you will get x to the fourth. That's our a squared, x to the fourth. It's going to be x to the fourth. And then we're going to go to minus ab. So minus s squared y squared. That's ab. And then when you do b squared, you're going to square this. Sorry, this pen is not working good. That will be y to the fourth. So I'm going to put plus y to the fourth over here. All right, and that's that. Okay, so be careful that this very first linear factor, this first factor here cannot be factored, because it's a sum of squares, and this one is a quadratic square that's done. All right, not quadratic, I'm sorry. Another fact, this cannot be factored any further. All right. Okay, so this is going to be for you to practice with this on your own and see if you got it. I'm going to show the answer after you have practiced it, and then show you how it worked. So okay, we are back. So now hopefully you have recognized that the 27 can be broken into, can be written as 3 cubed, and the s cubed, x to the 6 as s squared cubed. When you put them together, you get this 3s squared cubed. So 3 cubed is 27, s squared cubed is x to the 6th. And then this one is just 1 cubed. Now, having done that, then your next step is to recognize this as your a, which is my a, and then this is 1, is your b. And now you're ready to plug in this, your a and b into this top formula over here, with a plus b and then that. So the next screen you're going to see that. So okay, now we are going to replace, we're going to plug in these values now. Okay, these expressions, we're going to plug in a plus b. So 3x squared plus 1, it will be going here, so it will be 3x squared, that's plus 1. That's our a plus b. All right, sorry, this pen is crazy. Now we go to the next one. I really don't like that looking like that, so we're gonna clean it up and do it again. Sorry for your time. So it'll be 3x squared plus 1, and then we'll do a squared is 9x to the 4th, 9x to the 4th. Okay, so that's my a squared. This is a squared. It's 3 squared, x to the squared, s squared to the square, to square again, so it's 9x to the 4th. And then I'm going to do plus, actually it's going to be minus ab, so minus 3x squared times 1. So minus 3x squared, and then I'm going to do b squared. 1 squared is just 1, so plus 1. So those are the factors of this guy is this. So this is our final answer to the factors. Hopefully these videos have helped you a little bit. All right, bye.